Sprewell and see when he was there. Trell Sprewell. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. That's why we need to get a bigger budget around here so we can do some things. So Trell Sprewell played for the New York Knicks from 1998 to 2003. Okay, so they missed each other. So you were right about Sprewell, but you were wrong as hell about Larry Johnson. It's okay. I do it all the time. I forgive you. I forgive you. So you were right. You were right about Sprewell. Sprewell came the year that Oakley left, but you were, off a little bit with Larry Johnson. They did play a couple of years together in New York. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at dougthedugstewartshow.com from Andre Elam in the chat room on Spreaker.com. Big L Plus, it seems like it would take Ewing too long to get his message out during timeouts. Laugh out loud. That's funny. Cracking at Patrick Ewing. That's why that man can't get a job right now as a head coach. From Greg OXY, I don't think race has anything to do with Ewing getting a coaching job. Got to be something going on. It seems like there's a negative stigma on big men, on centers. Because, it can't be, I wouldn't say it's race-related why Patrick Ewing hadn't gotten a job in the NBA. Because there's a lot of black coaches in the NBA. There's tons of them. But Patrick Ewing can't get a job. Bill Laimbeer tried to get a job in the NBA for many years. Remember, Bill Laimbeer was and I'm talking former players. There's a big man negative stigma like the guys that played center. And I think maybe it's because we kind of view the players on the floor as the point guard being the leader, the floor general. He's kind of like the coach on the floor. And it seems like the taller they get, this ain't what I feel. But this is kind of like the stigma that's out there. So the taller the player gets, the less coachly he is. Or for lack of a better term, less smart, which I think is wrong. But Patrick Ewing can't get a job. Bill Laimbeer can't get a job. Kareem had tried to be an assistant or was an assistant for many, many years, couldn't get a job. And maybe it might just be a curmudgeon thing. I don't know if that's how they view Patrick Ewing or not, but they can't get jobs. They can't get jobs. But you see cats like Jason Kidd and A.B. Johnson, Doc Rivers, all of these guys played point guards, and all of them get jobs 1, 2, 3 years after they get out of basketball. What's his name? Mark Jackson. So there's so many examples that you can give of black players, former players, getting head coaching jobs in the NBA, so it can't be race. I wouldn't say that at all. But for some reason, the taller you get, the less respect you get as a coach. From Andre Elon, Bill Cartwright can't get a head coaching job in the NBA. And not that they haven't. Paul Silas played in the NBA for a long time. He'd been in the league for 11 years. He coached for many years. There have been tall, center players to get head coaching jobs in the NBA. But, Bill Cartwright is another name you can add to the list. It's just funny, man. And I feel for Patrick Ewing the way that they do him. Like seriously? Like, Patrick Ewing should have had an opportunity to be a head coach in the NBA. Like, really? I mean, he was best player in the Knicks, one of the best players in Knicks history, and he's paid his dues. Patrick Ewing had to have been an assistant for the last, 15 years for one team or another. I don't get that at all. From an angry black man, Oakley and Larry Johnson played together from 96 to 98 when Oakley was traded to the Toronto Raptors. From, who do we got here in the chat room, Spreaker.com, from the 47 Problem. I better stop hitting this chat before I falcon up this work in the office. Falcon up. That's funny. Yeah, make sure you get your lesson, you get your job together, bro. I mean, I don't want you losing your job. Trust me, it's not fun. From Woody 504, he still needs to slap the ish out of Spree when he see him. That might happen. He might slap the taste out of Spree's mouth when he see him. Yeah, from Sluggo X Squad, G-Money, apparently her song has been a major increase in downloads since selling out her kinfolk. Shaking my head. Who exactly are you talking about? from who we got, Jared Wide. They are too tall. They can't get up off the bench to yell at the refs fast enough. I hope that's not the case, man. From that ninja in the chat room on Spreaker.com, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is being punished because he stood up for black people back in the day instead of being a good boy. Now white people are getting him back. We should have his back and not talk bad about him. I'm not talking bad about Kareem. I love Kareem. But Kareem is a curmudgeon. I mean, that's a fact. Kareem's personality is cantankerous as hell. I mean, that's the truth. I met him personally. You know, and you hear all of the darn stories about Kareem, and whenever I heard those stories, I didn't believe them. I always try to, judge people from what I know to be the truth and from personal meetings with people and conversations with people or whatever. And so people would say so-and-so negative about, for example, Warren Sapp. Like for many, many years, people in the industry would talk bad about Warren Sapp and how he's an idiot, this, that, and the other. And I was like, man, I don't believe that. They might just be some haters. They might just be mad because Warren Sapp didn't want to do an interview or whatever. So we always had the attitude of, kind of like in journalism but not journalism, from a player's perspective, from an everyday point of view perspective, an everyday guy perspective. And so whenever I heard that stuff about Warren Sapp being an asshole, I was like, well, whatever. Warren Sapp is an asshole. I'm here to tell you from the horse's mouth, Warren Sapp is a prime-time grade A asshole. And for the most part, man, the time that I met Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I told the story before. You listen to the Doug Stewart Show. We were promoting, Kareem had a book coming out. And a lot of you, we get new listeners every day, so I'll tell the story again. So Kareem had a book coming out. And he did a book signing here in Atlanta. And what was it? Like Barnes and Nobles or something like that. It was in Gwinnett. And so we promoted it on our show, on the Stu show. We promoted it like for a week or two or whatever, man. And his booking agent, man, made sure that we got there in enough time to meet Kareem, behind closed doors. And we met Kareem, man, and Kareem didn't even look me in the eye, man. And now I'm sure his agent was like, listen, Kareem, these are the guys that promoted you all week. And as a matter of fact, one of the guys is a big fan of yours. He's a Laker fan from a long, long time ago. And so we're going to bring him back here, and we're going to let you meet these guys and, just talk to them, shake hands, rub elbows, all of that type stuff, sign an autograph maybe for these guys. They're the Stews. I mean, the Stews are cool. They're down with the 2 Live Stews. And so we get back there, and when I tell you I extend my hand to Kareem, how you doing, sir? And he put out like a half-hearted, limp, wet noodle hand. And he was like, hey, how you doing? And then he kept doing what he was doing. Like, he didn't even look at me. He didn't even look at me. And so me, once again, I'm not starstruck by a lot of people. Like maybe two people. Like we interviewed a lot of people in our years in doing radio. Obviously, I always talk about that. Like the 2 people that I were kind of like looking forward to actually meeting, you could say I was quasi-starstruck, were O.J. Simpson, which is my favorite football player of all time, which O.J. was fantastic in the studio. Hell, you would be happy, too, if you beat a double murder charge. So O.J. was in the studio for us for 2 hours. Y'all know how that went. And it was fantastic. The juice was great. I mean, hell, once again, he was on them streets. He was a free man at the time. Before all of this Heisman Trophy stealing stuff went down. So O.J. was great. I mean, can't say anything more, positive about O.J. Simpson. Kareem, man, I walked in there all happy. Oh, man, I'm going to meet my favorite player of all time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem, can I get a picture with you? Can I get an autograph? Beat it, kid. That's pretty much how it went. Beat it, kid. Beat it, kid. Like, he treated me like the dude, like the little boy on Airplane that he came up there where Kareem had to tell him, you go tell your old man to go back and forth with Lanier for 48 minutes to see how he likes it. Like, he treated me like that. Like, damn, Kareem, all right, I just I just wanted you to know that I'm a Laker fan. Yeah, so I didn't have a good experience with him, man. So I don't know, how that kind of fits into the conversation of those guys getting jobs, man. Like, I've never heard bad stories about Patrick Ewing and his personality. Once again, I wouldn't believe them anyway. I would have to meet the person. But, a lot of these things you hear about somebody's personality and are they a jerk or not. And I've never heard anything bad about Patrick Ewing. But Patrick Ewing can't buy a damn job. I mean, what's that all about? I mean, it ain't like he ain't one of the greatest centers of all times. I think Patrick Ewing might even been on that top 50 players of all time team that came out after the 50th anniversary or the 75-year anniversary of the NBA, I believe. So I don't know. I don't get that at all. From 334 Bama boy, Doug better be glad that Kareem didn't sidekick him like he did Bruce Lee. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Kareem was nice with them hands, too. And, I mean, he looks abnormally tall. Like Kareem and Dirk Nowitzki. Like, those are the two guys that I've met in person in the NBA that just don't even look real. Like, Kareem is so skinny and Dirk is super, super skinny, too. They just look like they're not even from this planet. They look like freaking aliens. They're so tall and skinny, man. Oh, man. From Greg Oexwa, Laugh Out Loud in the retail store I used to manage, Al would tell kids trying to get his autograph or a picture, nah, beat a kid all the time and would mean mug him. Al who? Who are you talking about? Is that Al or is that AI? You talking about Allen Iverson? Who are you talking about? Exactly. From Corey, that would be messed up if that's the case. Bear Bryant Jr. stopped Neuheisel from going to UAB. From Gary G. Money Joyner, I never had any good experience with celebrities ever. I mean, I've told a lot of stories. I'm not going to get into them, man. But the only one I've met a lot, obviously, I've met a lot of celebrities and doing interviews with cats at the Super Bowl. That's really the time where we had a lot of guests right there in front of us. It was at the Super Bowl, in which we went probably 8, 9, 10 years in a row. And, I can't think of anybody that was just rude or just disrespectful. Like, the only name that comes to mind is Kareem. That's it. And think about the cats that we've interviewed, man, at them Super Bowls every year for 8, 9, 10 years in a row. A lot of cats, and you have little conversations with them, doing breaks, and you kind of get a better feel of their personality or whatever, man. And all of the cats that we've interviewed, and I mean, it probably ain't too many big names that we haven't interviewed. The only people that we never got to interview that we wanted to were Tiger Woods. There's a story behind that as well. Never got to interview Tiger Woods. Never got to interview Muhammad Ali. And obviously, when we were doing the show, Muhammad Ali wasn't in good health where he could actually, I don't think, do an interview like that. But outside of that, man, there's not a lot of people I can think of that I haven't, that I would like to have interviewed. Michael Jordan, that's another one. Like, how we've never talked to Michael Jordan when we were on radio and he's our frat is mind-boggling. And we had several different channels working on trying to get us Jordan for over a decade. Never happened. Never happened. Never happened. I mean, you are a frat. And we had several different people that were kind of like behind the scenes, had an in with Jordan, and never happened. Never happened. Yeah. All right, we get back from the break, man. A little entertainment talk. I want to talk some Dallas Cowboy football a little bit later as well. And some things going down or went down in ATL and Georgia this past weekend. One very interesting positive thing. And then a very, very sad story as well for ATL Georgia sports. But we'll get into some entertainment coming up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away.
Ways of the world, ways of the world. My words are direction, thoughts put down for perfection, for dead minds, resurrection, for hard heads a lesson.